deserves a closer look.
The Dredge are definitely testing a new weapon. Thurkill and I saw it in action. It's definitely responsible for the strange wounds you found.
Worse, a Dredge named Vyacheslav is refining the weapon to make it more devastating. We must find and destroy this weapon.
The Dredge attacked our monastery as well. Killed our scholars, one and all. I shall have to report this to the Priory immediately. This Vyacheslav stole an ancient architectural tome from Scholar's Cleft. We need to know more about him, his plans, and his weapon.
Research alone won't tell us that. I propose we steal the latest version of the weapon. That will advance our cause and set theirs back. Order of Whispers agents have tracked the device to the Dredge stronghold known as Mullenhide, and I have a plan to get us inside. We all agree the weapon can't be allowed to do any more harm. Even Thurkill and I agree that action must be taken.
Then there's only one question before we proceed. Steal the weapon or destroy it? What say you, Slayer?
Okay, Slayer. You're good at what you do, but now we see if you're good at what I do. The Order of Whispers doesn't shrink from violence, but we try to keep it to the necessary minimum. And in our line of work, it's often necessary. The Dredge have sealed themselves inside that mine. We need to get in, take what we need, and get out. I propose we borrow a pair of their mining suits. They'll assume we're one of them and let us in. After that, we have to improvise.
Sneak in and keep a low profile until violence is necessary. I can handle that. Should we mine some ore first to help sell the disguise?
Now you're thinking like one of us. I predict a bright future for you in our order. If you can mine as well as a Dredge, that is. We'll have you fighting dragons in no time. That's in our charter, you know. But until then, let's put on a show and dig our way into that mine. Drill the rocks, and the Dredge will come pick up the ore.
Be proud! You've collected for the collective!
Nice work. That'll do fine. All problems can be solved through unity.
Nothing of interest. Let's keep looking. Check the other. Maybe we'll get lucky. Remember when I said we would improvise? Now's the time. We don't need a whole prototype. The components in this box will tell us all we need to know.
And look around. Some of these parts are far too big for the weapon I saw. The Dredge must be planning to build an even larger version.
With a weapon that size, they could shoot through a small mountain, or a large building.
A building makes more sense. The Dredge stole a book about ancient architecture from the Priory. They must be preparing to take out a large structure.
Well spotted. This weaponsmith Vyacheslav sounds madder all the time, even for a Dredge. Let's take what we've learned back to the others and figure out where the Dredge will strike.
What happened back there? The mining suit was working perfectly and then it completely broke down.
Hard to say. Between your size and unfamiliarity with the controls, I expect you taxed its systems past the breaking point. Hardly your fault, of course. Dredge machinery is powerful, but it's not as reliable as the Chars or as flexible as the Asuras.
Vyacheslav's machinery seems reliable enough, especially since he keeps upgrading it. We need to identify his target before he perfects his weapon.
Agreed. I'll meet you back in Holbreck and we'll confer with the others. Maybe they can help us determine which huge building is in danger. Nice work, by the way. I renew my offer. When you're ready to join the fight against the dragons, the Order of Whispers would be glad to have you. Yes?
I do most of my research.
The Dredge are definitely building another weapon. One big enough to shatter a mountain. I've seen the proof with my own eyes. Given the architectural tome they stole, I think Vyacheslav's target is a large building. But which one? Where is he going to strike?
True, but a little research might get us that information. My contacts have intercepted a coded Dredge message. I suspect it was being sent to Molengrad. If we break the code, we can figure out what the Dredge are planning.
We haven't got time for the Priory to crack that code. I have a spy inside a Dredge settlement. Let's ask him for the information.
I'll leave the intelligence gathering to you lot. The Vigil is ready to move on whatever you discover. In the meantime, we'll keep hunting Vyacheslav.
We'll share what we learn with the Vigil. But first the Slayer must decide how we're going to learn it. By breaking the code or debriefing the spy.
I learn something new every day.
That's right. The Dredge who sent it have been preparing a new weapon for something big. We need to know what so we can stop it.
It's a book cipher. The sender and the recipient both refer to the same published work. Every letter in the code corresponds to a word in the book. This sequence at the end tells you the page and line you want. 029701 means page 297, line 1.
I see. And then we use the numbers to assemble the words in the message. But how do we know what book was used to encode it?
That's the tricky part. It could be anything that's ever been published. That's why this code type is informally known as security by obscurity. The only sure way is to find the sender or recipient and see what book they're using. This letter came from Molenhyde. If I were you, I'd start there.